Hello YouTube world, welcome back to my channel. So today we are talking about the famous Kili Marathon. So Kili Marathon is one of the oldest marathons in Tanzania, and I had the chance to participate in their 2024 marathon. I did my first 21 kilometer ever. Like never in my life have I ever ran for 21 kilometer, but this time I was like, you know what? I'm a child of God. I'm a woman of still. I can do anything I want to do. And then I did it. Let me show you my mirror actually. You see? I did a fucking marathon and I did 21 kilometers. It was so nice. But until I got here, the stress that I went through, it wasn't necessary. And I wish they would do better because they're a big company. I would like to show like they're a big organization. And I think they can do better than what they're doing right now, especially on the like operation side of things. Like on the branding side, they're good. They're good. Like they're well known, all that. Like they're good on that. But on the operation side, like I've heard a lot of runners complain about how Key Marathon organizes their marathons. For instance, most people who go for 42 kilometers usually complain that after their first half, the second half is usually very hard because there's usually less maintenance on the half the track that is remaining. Like you unaweza ukafika kwenye stop, hamna maji, there's no glucose, there's nothing to like keep you going. So like the last phase of the run is usually very hard for them. I've heard a lot of people complain about that. So that is on the operation side of Kill Marathon that they can do better and they're not doing it. But anyway, apart from that, I'm here to speak about my own personal experience of this marathon that I attended earlier this year. So we're gonna get into it. This is literally story time. I'm telling you guys the story that I went through. So I have my notes on my laptop and I'll see to make sure that I'm covering like everything that I wanted to talk about in this video. So first off, ticketing. Um, so because they usually start registration like really early on, 3 months before, like you register and all that. So usually you pick your kit. I think it's a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks before the marathon, but the registration usually happens like early on. And during the registration, as it's known, like you give out your number, all that things, and then they'll reserve your data. You pay obviously, and then they'll reserve your data for you to do like the pickup when the time is right. So I did my ticketing late last year, around December-ish, 2023. The marathon was from 24 Feb. And then I did my payment December 2023. So I was sure like my chances secured. And then I chilled because I thought they would at least send us like bulk SMS or something because they had a lot of contacts. So when the time was here for us to pick up our kids, I did not know because I was not following them on their social media. So apparently they kept an eye. I mean, they just announced on the social media that they'll be providing the kids in Dar es Salaam for like certain dates. And because I was not following them on social media, I did not see that ad. And then they came to Dar and left Dar without me having my kid. And I did not know that I did not have a kid until they went to Arusha. And then a friend of mine who lives in Arusha, she told me that, oh, they're here. What about it? I was like, I didn't know that they came to Dar. And then she told me, actually, they just moved from Dar and then they came to Arusha. So I called them. First and foremost, before calling them, I had like a breakdown. I was like, these guys had our numbers. I think as a proper organization, especially if you do like early bookings, the most decent thing you can do is just notify the people who have booked that, hey, we'll be in your city. Please come pick up your kid. Because bulk SMS is very cheap these days. Like, why can't they just send SMS to the participants that are booked? Because they do have our numbers. I can remember, frankly, when you're registering, you have to enter your number, you have to like taking a lot of details. And I thought they would use that detail for good, but they did not. So I was like, okay, let me see what I can do. So I called them and they told me I can ask someone in Arusha to pick up the kid for me. And then I was like, okay, cool. And then I called my friend who was in Arusha to actually they told me yeah. And then I called my friend who was in Arusha to help me pick up. And then when she went to the Arusha pickup station, they told her no, they don't allow that until in Moshi. So for her in Arusha, she can pick up for me. And then she couldn't. So I was like, okay, cool. So I phoned another person who was in Moshi to pick up the kid for me. And then she went there and the horror story began. She got there and then they told her that that kid has already been corrected. Like, what? I did not correct my kid. The first friend who wanted to take the kid for me, they refused, saying that no one is allowed to take anyone's kid in Mauritius. We have to wait to Moshi. And then I told someone to go and take the kid for me in Moshi. And then they said, my kid is already taken. I freaked out because in that moment I felt like there is no way I'll be participating in this marathon again because my kid is literally missing. They're saying they gave the kid to me and I don't have the kid. And none of the people that I had sent were given the kid. So my friend wasn't successful and then she had to wait. She was like, oh, you just have to come to Moshi and then when you come here we'll have to go there and see like how it goes. So at that point I was traveling from Dar to Moshi without knowing if I'll actually participate in the marathon because by the moment I'm traveling I did not get the kit yet. So it's like, well, we have to know the end of this, so we're going to Moshi. So we did our travel. I went to Moshi with like a couple other friends, and then we got, because we traveled during the night, we got in Moshi like early in the morning. So as soon as I had my breakfast, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna fall through this kit and know like what's my situation. So I went to the grounds where they're doing the kids. Jamani, kulikuwa kuna foleni. For it was early in the morning, but the lines were long, long. Yes. I don't know how to how long those lines were. I don't have pictures or anything to insert here, but the lines were long. So I was like, patience, patience, child, patience. So I stood in those lines because I had to wait for my turn for me to reach there and ask what's happening. I stood up for like 2 hours waiting for my turn to come. And then after 2 hours, my turn was there. And then I went in to those Waindi girls doing like the registration stuff. And then I told them, here's my ticket, here's my receipt. I don't have a bib, but you keep on saying my bib is taken. So I want to know what's happening. They're like, oh, that's taken. I was like, I don't have it. And no one that I sent has the kit. So I don't know how to go about it. And then they're like, okay, so they gave me a number that I had to go search in their book to know who had taken my kit. Like ilikuwa ni counter daftari limejaa majina ya watu and then I have to search page by page to find the number they had given me so that I can know who took my kid. Like ni adhabu basically. It was like, I'm seeing the end of this. I'm seeing through this. Like I want to know where this is gonna end. Nikakaa pale na daftari langu pembeni and then I started like scrolling natafuta. 1 hour 45 minutes later nikakutana sasa na hiyo number and then I gave them the number and then they're like, okay, so this is the person that took your kid. You have to call them and you know like what the arrangement is. Okay, so nikachukua hiyo number, I called the guy, akapokea mkaka, hi, so apparently my Kili kit is missing and naambiwa wewe ndio umechukua, so I don't know what's happening. First and foremost nilijitambulisha, you know, like I'm a good girl. And then I told him the whole thing. I was like, oh yeah. So he was like, okay, I think Wanda amechanganya because yes, I did pick up 2 kids, mine and a friend's, but my friend and you, I think you have a similar name, so it's their mistake. And I was like, but the name is not supposed to be an issue because usually tunapopewa hizi kids they're supposed to give us by receipt, so wanatakiwa angalia receipt number, not the person's name, because like everyone is called Mariam in this world, literally, like they're like hundreds Mariams. So anyway, these are the little chances, these are the times where you be like, having a common name is real not it, like, guys. Anyway, let me continue the story. So yeah, so the thing is, they had given the kid to that girl because we had similar names. So she was also Mariam Belenyi, but our receipts numbers are different. So I had to call this girl, And then, so the guy linked me to the girl, and then I had to call the girl to come with her kit, which was my kit. And then we had to make the lines again to wait until we get to the front, and then to explain to them that you guys made a mistake. You gave my kit to somebody else, and then you held her kit. And then they're like, "Oh, we're so sorry. I think we mistake the numbers." Well, I was like, "This is so fucked up. Like, I've literally been stressful the last 2 days because of your mistake." Anyway, long story short, I had to take the other girl's kit because she had left my kit, the hotel room, and the hotel is very far from the area. Actually, luckily, when the guy gave me her number, when I phoned her, she was around the ground. So she said, "Oh, okay, sure, I'll help. I'll come there." And then she came, we made the rounds again and did the whole shengas. But if she was not in Moshi, literally, the story was going to turn out very differently because the guys that were doing the registration, they actually did not believe me that they thought I wanted to take like two kids at the same time. So if she was not there, it would have been like even harder for me to convince them. But luckily she was there. So we did the thing. We went there, we explained them to them, we showed our IDs, we showed our receipts, and then they realized it was their mistake because they gave my receipt number to her, and her receipt number, it was reading as if the kid has not yet been picked up and she already had a kid. So like she could literally easily get two kids and no one would have known. Like, what the fuck? As I said, enough cussing for this video, but like I was really pissed because like I went through trenches to like get this t-shirt, like and like my bib for the run. And so that was done. The struggle of getting the bib and the whole shenanigan, I did not like. And then I was like, will I really be impressed to like come again to Kili Marathon? Like, I don't know. I think for what I've been through, I'll be more than happy if this is like the one and the only Kili Marathon that I've attended because I don't think I'm ready for any other mental breakdown. So yeah. And then the day of the marathon came. The day of the marathon was like, okay, it was fine. I think the highlight for me was just like the 21 kilometer because I was doing something that I had not done before. So on the day of the marathon, the focus was really on myself. Although the challenge that I've seen on the marathon organizers is that like I think because they usually have a lot of people, they don't know how to really like handle the number that they're usually getting. Because in most of like the water points, sometimes you reach a water point and they'll be like running out of water. And then some other points they had like fruits or let's say glucose, and then you reach there and then they're like running out of stuff. They're like running out of a lot of stuff. And I think it's because they usually have like a lot of people. So probably it's a lot for them to manage. But I think for the amount of money that they're making out of this marathon, they should really like do better. Because if you know the number of people that you're going to have, you should account for like things like water for each and every person that is coming, no matter how fast or slow they are. Because I think the slower you are, the less, the more likely you are that you won't enjoy the marathon because that means every water point that you get to, there'll be no water, no sodas, no fruits, no glucose, nothing. So you're just gonna be running there dried. Like you're gonna die out of thirst, I think. So I don't know. I think they can do better on that. But for me, on the marathon day, I was really focusing on myself, but I didn't notice that error. Imagine. Even when I'm trying to focus on myself, I can still notice when things are not going well. So generally overall, like my experience was not the best, but I did like the marathon, especially for the mindset shift that it did for me because like I was really overthinking how this thing is gonna go, like the 21K. Babe, like, do you know how long 21K is? Like you do 10 kilometers twice and then you do like one more kilometer, you know, do the math. So it was really like a mental thing for me. And I'm really grateful that I did the marathon. And yeah, it was lovely. And actually I think for the marathon it was so easy for me to do because I had a friend and we were like doing this together, and I also knew that this was also her first 21 kilometers. So we were really encouraging each other, like, hey, let's go, Karen, let's go, let's go, let's go. We're doing this, we're killing it. Like throughout the marathon, we were literally encouraging ourselves to keep on going. So if you're ever going to see this video, Karen, I love you so much, so much. Thank you for doing this with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, I don't think I would have done it without Karen, really. So I'm grateful for friends like her and many other friends that really encouraged me to like try new styles and like get out of my zone. And so that's it for this video. That was my story on how I got this kit and how I attended the Kili Marathon. Like everything was looking glamorous on Instagram. Like, you know, people don't post when they're stressed, but you're like, oh, she's having fun. But in the background, I was going through Shankas, like I was stressed. Anyway, that's it, guys. So thank you so much for watching to the very end. I hope you enjoyed my little Shinga story, and I hope you come back for another video. Bye bye. Until next time. Adios.